Okay, so today we're going to tackle something that I think is on a lot of people's minds, and that is how to turn skills you already have into a side hustle and actually earn some extra income.
Mm-hmm.
We've got this great piece from blogwidow.com, super practical. It gives a 7-step guide, and
Tips, steps.
7 steps. Yeah, but we want to go beyond that today. We
Yeah.
want to really help people see how they can actually apply this to their own lives.
Right, right. And for all of you listening who are all about getting to the good stuff quickly, but also thoroughly, this is the deep dive for you because we're going to go beyond just the 7 steps.
Yeah.
We're going to explore those crucial elements of each step, and hopefully we'll spark some ideas for you about the skills you already have and how you can leverage them.
Yeah.
You might be surprised at the hidden potential right under your nose.
Absolutely. And the thing I love about the way the blogwidow.com piece frames this whole thing is that so many skills we use every day,
Yeah.
whether as, writing compelling emails or having a good eye for design, keeping things organized.
Right.
Heck, even being the go-to tech person in your family.
Right.
These are things that other people actually value and are willing to pay for.
Yes.
And, what are we talking about here? We're talking about actually achieving those tangible results, right?
Totally.
Knocking down debt,
Yeah.
saving for those goals, finally having that financial cushion,
Yeah.
and even laying the groundwork for something way bigger and
Yeah.
entirely your own.
Right.
So let's jump into step 1 right off the bat. Let's talk about figuring out what marketable skills you might already have.
Okay, step 1. I love it. The article really nails it when they say many of us probably have skills we don't even realize could be valuable to others. It's about looking beyond, that job description. What do people always come to you for?
Right.
Or, what are those tasks that you really enjoy doing, even in your free time? The article gives some really great starting points, like writing, for example.
Yeah.
Maybe you're amazing at breaking down complex topics, making them really easy to understand. Or maybe you've just got that knack for persuasive language.
Right.
Those could be things like content creation or copywriting,
Yeah.
even helping other people refine their writing.
And it's not just, what people traditionally think of as those quote-unquote creative fields either.
Right.
Like think about graphic design.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just making graphics for your own social media or designing, invites for your friend's birthday party.
Yeah.
But those skills,
Right.
making logos, designing marketing materials, even doing some web visuals, those are in demand.
Oh, absolutely.
What else jumped out at you from that initial list of possibilities?
I was struck by how broad the spectrum actually is.
Yeah.
They mentioned things like marketing, which covers so much ground, managing social media to understanding SEO, even running those online ad campaigns.
Right.
And then you've got those crucial tech skills, everything from building and maintaining websites, app development, even just being that person who can provide solid tech support for people who are maybe not as comfortable with technology.
Right.
It really shows you that there's value in such a diverse set of abilities.
Absolutely. And the blogwidow.com article uses a really relatable example with graphic design.
Yeah.
Let's say that's your thing.
Yeah.
You're not limited to just client projects.
Right.
You could be creating and selling your own design templates on places like Etsy or Creative Market.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really thinking outside the box about how you can package and offer your skills.
Right.
That's so important.
And they have this little success tip in this first step that I think is crucial. And it's focus on skills that you're actually passionate about. Because we know building a side hustle takes time. It takes effort, especially in the beginning.
Right.
So that intrinsic motivation, that genuine interest in what you're doing, that is going to be a major factor in, sticking with it when things get a little challenging.
Have you ever noticed how those tasks that you enjoy doing almost don't even feel like work?
Totally, yeah.
That's the kind of energy we want to tap into here.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so you've started to identify some of those potential skills.
Okay.
Now, step 2 is all about figuring out who out there actually needs those skills.
Yes.
Finding your target audience. Why is this step so critical?
If you zoom out and look at the big picture, understanding your target audience is like the foundation. The bedrock of a sustainable side hustle. You can be the most skilled person in the entire world at what you do. But if you don't know who you're trying to help and what their needs actually are, it's kind of like trying to sell raincoats in a desert. You might get lucky, but it's not a solid business plan.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It does.
The blogwidow.com piece breaks down, how to actually go about defining this audience. And they start with demographics. those basic things, age, where they live, what kind of job they do, even their income level.
Yep. Yep.
But it goes way deeper than just those surface level details, right?
Oh, for sure. They emphasize psychographics, which is getting into those real motivations behind people's decisions.
Right.
What gets them excited?
Yeah.
What are they frustrated with? What are those pain points that your skills could potentially solve?
Right.
And what are their values?
Yeah.
When you understand those deeper motivations, you can tailor your services, you can tailor your messaging, even the platforms that you use to connect with people in a much more meaningful way.
And it's smart that they suggest doing a little reconnaissance.
Yeah.
Looking into your competitors a little bit.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about seeing, what other people are offering.
Right.
It's about looking for those gaps. What are they not doing? Could your unique blend of skills address a need that maybe other people aren't meeting as effectively?
Totally.
Have you ever come across a problem that no one seems to be solving well?
Oh, all the time.
That could be an opportunity for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, this brings up an interesting question.
Okay.
How specific should you be when you're defining this ideal client or customer? Blogwidow.com gives an example of a digital marketer focusing on, small business owners who need help with their online presence.
Right.
That's a pretty specific niche.
Yes. Very targeted.
And the success tip here, they really double down on this idea of narrowing down that target audience, which I think could feel counterintuitive to a lot of people.
It could.
Because you might think, I want to cast the widest net possible.
Yeah. Get as many people as I can.
Right. More opportunities. But the article really makes the case that a more focused approach allows you to be much more effective with your marketing. Because you're not trying to speak to everyone.
Yeah.
You can really hone in on the specific needs and desires of this particular group of people.
Right. It's about quality over quantity.
Exactly.
When you truly understand your niche, you can craft those messages that really resonate. You can choose the online spaces where your ideal clients are actually hanging out. And ultimately, you build much stronger connections with the people who are most likely to value what you offer and, pay for your services.
Right. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got a clearer picture of your skills, who you want to help. Now, step 3 is all about actually choosing the platform where you're going to offer those services.
That's platform, yeah.
And it sounds like there's a whole ecosystem of options out there.
Oh, there really is. It's a vast landscape of digital possibilities. Yeah. But the blogwidow.com piece does a great job of organizing those options based on the different ways that you might want to offer those skills and services.
Okay, so we break it down. They start with the freelancing platforms.
Right.
The Upworks, the Fivers, the freelancers of the world. What's the main draw of those for someone who's just starting out with a side hustle?
I think these platforms are great for connecting with a really wide range of clients who are actively looking for specific skills. So whether you're, a writer or a designer or a virtual assistant, a coder, these marketplaces already have a built-in audience. It's a relatively quick way to kind of dip your toes in the water, start building a portfolio, and hopefully land those first few clients.
Then there are the platforms that are specifically designed for online courses.
Yeah.
Like your Udemys, your Teachables, your Skillshares. This seems like a perfect avenue if your marketable skill is really about knowledge and teaching other people.
Absolutely. If you've got a specific area of expertise that you can, articulate, structure into a curriculum, these platforms allow you to share that knowledge with a global audience.
It's amazing.
It is. And monetize your expertise at scale.
Wow.
So it's a way to leverage your knowledge beyond those one-on-one interactions.
And then for those who are actually creating tangible things, whether it's, physical crafts, digital templates, or even software, the article points to platforms like Etsy, Shopify, Creative Market.
Right.
And I like that these are much more specialized.
They are. Etsy is really focused on those, handmade and vintage items. So it's a unique marketplace for those kinds of goods.
Right.
Shopify gives you the tools to build your own branded online store.
Okay.
So you've got more control there.
Right.
And Creative Market is that go-to spot for designers who are selling digital assets. I think the key here is choosing the platform that really aligns with the type of product you want to offer.
Right, because they all have their own little niche.
They do.
Okay. And then finally, for those who are offering more personalized, direct interaction, there are consulting and coaching platforms like clarity.fm,
Uh-huh.
or even just the idea of building your own professional website.
Right.
What do you think about that?
I think those options are perfect for people who offer high-touch services
Mm-hmm.
and really want to build those deeper, more ongoing relationships with their clients.
Right.
A website especially can add a layer of professionalism and credibility to your side hustle. It's like that digital storefront you were talking about.
I like that.
It is.
Now, blogwidow.com gives this example of a freelance writer maybe starting on Fiverr
Okay.
and then potentially moving on to a platform like Upwork. What's the logic behind that kind of progression?
I think Fiverr can be a great entry point to start building that portfolio.
Huh.
Getting some initial experience under your belt, you might offer your services at a more competitive rate to attract those first few clients and get those positive reviews.
Right.
But as you gain more experience, you build a stronger reputation.
Yeah.
You can then transition to a platform like Upwork, which sometimes attracts clients with larger budgets or more complex, longer-term projects.
I see. So it's kind of like leveling up.
It is a little bit, yeah.
And the success tip they give for this stage is to really master one platform before you try to expand to others.
Focus, focus, focus.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Each platform probably has its own little culture,
Absolutely.
its own best practices. You don't want to spread yourself too thin.
Right. And it's much better to really build a strong presence on one, understand the nuances of how it works, get some wins under your belt,
Right.
and then think about conquering the rest of the digital world.
I love that. Okay, so you've got your skills defined. You've got your audience in mind. You've picked your platform.
Okay.
Now comes a part that I think can be kind of scary for a lot of people.
Yes.
Setting your prices, figuring out what your service packages are going to look like.
The money part.
This can feel really nerve-wracking for a lot of people.
It can. And, there's often this tendency, especially when you're first starting out, to undervalue your own expertise.
It's true.
But I think the blogwidow.com article offers a really practical framework for approaching this.
So how do they recommend people go about this?
Well, they suggest starting by researching what your competitors are charging on platforms like Upwork or Fiverr.
Okay.
It's a smart way to get a baseline understanding of the market.
Right, so you kind of have an idea what the going rate is.
Yeah, it gives you that benchmark.
Right.
But it's really important to remember that this is just one piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
You don't have to be the cheapest option out there.
Right.
And what other people are charging isn't the only factor to consider.
Right. It's just a starting point.
It is.
The article also says, consider your own level of experience.
Yes.
Makes sense. Someone just starting out can reasonably charge less than someone who's been honing their skills for years and has a track record of success.
Right. It's a key differentiator.
Yeah.
You might need to be a bit more competitive when you're initially starting to attract those first few clients and build that portfolio and those initial testimonials. But as you gain more expertise and those positive reviews start coming in, you absolutely should be increasing your rates to reflect that.
Yeah, the value that you're providing is going up.
Exactly.
Now, I really like that they suggest creating tiered service packages.
Yes.
Offering like a basic, a standard, a premium option. What do you think is the benefit of that?
Yeah.
Both for the person running the side hustle and for their potential clients.
Tiered packages give a lot of flexibility for clients who have different needs and different budgets.
Makes sense.
They can choose a level of service that fits their situation.
Right.
For you, it provides a clear framework for outlining what you offer at each price point. And it can create opportunities to upsell clients to those higher tier packages that include more comprehensive services.
They have this great example of a social media manager offering different packages.
Right.
From, just creating content to also handling engagement and providing detailed analytics. It's really concrete and it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it shows how you can cater to that range of client needs and their willingness to invest. A brand new small business might just need that basic content creation package.
Right.
While a more established company might be ready for that premium package that includes a more strategic, hands-on approach to their whole social media presence.
And the success tip here, I think, is so important.
Yes.
Don't undervalue your services.
Do not undervalue your services.
It's such a good reminder that your skills have real worth. You deserve to be compensated fairly for your time, your effort, your expertise.
You do, and don't be afraid to charge what you're worth.
Yes.
And remember what blogwidow.com said: as your experience grows and the results you deliver for clients grow.
Uh-huh.
your rates should grow too.
Okay, so you've got your skills defined, you've got your audience in mind, your platform's chosen, your pricing structure is all set.
Okay.
How do you actually let the world know that you exist and that you offer this service?
You're going to market it.
That brings us to step 5, marketing your side hustle.
That's right. Having an amazing service or product is really only part of the equation.
Right.
You've got to make sure that your target audience is aware of what you have to offer.
And how it can benefit them.
Right.
Blogwidow.com outlines some essential marketing methods to consider.
So what's at the top of the list?
Social media,
Okay, of course.
platforms like Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook.
Uh-huh.
These are all fantastic for showcasing your work, sharing testimonials from happy clients, and engaging directly with potential customers.
How would you recommend people use each of those platforms effectively for a side hustle?
So a graphic designer could use Instagram to display their portfolio.
Right.
A writer might share helpful tips and insights on LinkedIn. And Facebook can be great for connecting with local communities or those niche interest groups where your ideal clients might be.
Okay.
It really depends.
Now, they also mentioned building a website.
Yeah.
In this day and age, do you think everyone really needs their own website for a side hustle?
It's a good question.
Or are those profiles on the platforms enough?
You can definitely get started with just your profiles on those freelancing or e-commerce platforms.
But I think having your own website can significantly boost your credibility.
Okay.
Make you seem more established, more trustworthy. It acts as that central hub where people can learn more about your services, see a comprehensive portfolio, read those in-depth testimonials, and easily get in touch with you.
Yeah, it's like your little home base online.
It is your digital storefront.
I like that.
Yes.
Okay, so then they talk about networking.
Networking, yes.
You know, joining relevant online communities, going to virtual industry events, even exploring collaborations.
Right.
How can all of that actually lead to real business opportunities?
Networking is about building genuine relationships. So when you participate in those online communities, attend those virtual events, you can connect with potential clients, partners who might refer you work, even mentors who can offer guidance. Collaborations are great because they expose you to a new audience through someone else's network.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And, they also talk about word of mouth.
Yeah, good old-fashioned word of mouth.
Which might seem, kind of old school.
It might.
But it can still be incredibly effective.
It can when you consistently provide excellent service. And your clients are really happy with the results. They're much more likely to recommend you to their friends, their colleagues.
Right.
Those personal referrals can really go a long way.
The example they give in the article is web developer.
Okay.
Sharing, before and after shots of their projects on Instagram or writing, insightful articles on LinkedIn. So it's really about positioning yourself as that expert.
Yes. Demonstrate your value, build trust and authority.
And the success tip they give for marketing is consistency.
Consistency is key.
You can't just do it once and be done with it.
You can't.
It's that ongoing effort.
Really?
Okay, now let's talk about one of the biggest challenges, I think, for anyone who's trying to juggle a side hustle.
Yeah.
With, their existing job, their family, their life.
Right.
Managing your time effectively. Step 6.
Time management.
This can make or break the whole thing.
It really can. And thankfully, blogwidow.com offers some great time management strategies.
Okay. What are some of their top tips?
The first, and maybe the most fundamental, is creating a realistic schedule. And being disciplined about sticking to it.
Now, that's easy to say.
It is.
But for a lot of people listening, carving out that time can feel impossible.
Right.
What are some actionable things people can do to make that schedule actually work in their busy lives?
Be honest with yourself about your commitments. Identify those pockets of time, even if they're small.
Right.
That you can dedicate to your side hustle each week. Treat those scheduled hours with the same importance as you would any other appointment.
Okay.
Set boundaries. Be protective of that time. Minimize distractions and be firm about not letting other things encroach on it.
Okay.
So it might mean saying no to certain things.
Right.
Turning off notifications, being really intentional about how you use that time.
And they also talk about, using productivity tools.
Yes. Those digital aids can be really helpful.
Like what?
Trello, Asana, Google Calendar.
Uh-huh.
These can be lifesavers.
How so?
They help you stay organized.
Okay.
Prioritize your workload. Make sure nothing slips through the cracks.
Yeah, it's easy to feel overwhelmed
It is.
when you're trying to do all these things at once.
Yeah, so having a system for keeping track of everything
Right.
is really, really important.
And the example they give is a virtual assistant who might dedicate, specific evenings and weekend hours to their side hustle,
Right.
which, for a lot of people who are starting out, it does require some sacrifice.
It does, especially in those early stages.
Yeah.
But having that clear schedule can also help prevent the side hustle from taking over your whole life and leading to burnout.
Right. You've got to have boundaries.
Boundaries are key.
And that leads perfectly into the success tip that they give for time management.
Oh, yes.
Learn to say no.
So important.
Which I know can be so hard.
It is.
Especially for, enthusiastic entrepreneurs who want to seize every opportunity.
Right. But overcommitting yourself can lead to rushed work,
Right.
missed deadlines, and ultimately burnout.
You can't do it all.
You can't. And learning to politely decline projects or opportunities that you just don't have the capacity for is essential for the health and longevity of your side hustle.
Okay, and finally we arrive at step 7, scaling your side hustle.
Scaling it up.
So once you've, established a solid client base, got a workflow going, how do you start thinking about growing beyond that initial stage?
Scaling is about strategically finding ways to expand your reach, increase your income, and potentially free up more of your own time. Blogwidow.com has some key strategies for this growth phase.
So what are some of the things people can do to actually scale their side hustle?
Automating repetitive tasks is a big one.
Okay, what kind of tasks were we talking about here?
Things like sending invoices, scheduling appointments with clients, even scheduling and posting updates on social media.
Yeah.
These can often be streamlined or fully automated using different software tools and platforms.
So it frees up your time to focus on other things.
Exactly. You can reinvest that time in those higher value activities, like working directly with clients or developing new service offerings.
They also suggest outsourcing smaller tasks or maybe more administrative tasks to other freelancers or virtual assistants. When does it typically make sense to start thinking about bringing in outside help?
Once you find yourself consistently overwhelmed with tasks that are necessary for running your side hustle, but aren't the best use of your core skills, that might be a sign. It's time to consider outsourcing. It allows you to leverage other people's expertise and free up your own time to focus on the parts of your business that you are uniquely positioned to handle.
And then the idea of expanding your offerings with new services or products.
Yes.
It just seems like a natural progression as you learn and grow.
Absolutely. As you work more closely with clients, understand their needs and their challenges, you'll likely see opportunities to offer new services or products that provide more value and generate new revenue streams.
The example they give is a freelance graphic designer who might hire a virtual assistant to handle those administrative tasks, freeing them up to focus on the actual design work and take on more clients.
It's about recognizing where your time is most valuable and delegating other important but less strategic tasks to those who can handle them well.
And the final success tip from blogwidow.com is that scaling is a gradual process, and it requires you to constantly be evaluating. It's not about that explosive overnight growth.
It's not usually. It's about making thoughtful adjustments and ensuring that your growth is sustainable and aligned with your goals.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
So there you have it, a comprehensive 7-step roadmap.
7 steps.
For turning those existing skills that you have into a profitable side hustle. All thanks to the practical insights from blogwidow.com.
A great article.
We've explored everything from uncovering those hidden talents to strategically scaling your business.
We have.
And hopefully this deep dive has shown you that, creating an additional income stream is a very real possibility for a lot of you listening.
And as we discussed, the potential rewards are huge.
They are?
From reaching specific financial goals to potentially opening up entirely new entrepreneurial paths.
So here's a final thought for you to really ponder. Take a moment and think about which of your skills feels the most underutilized right now. What's one small, concrete step that you could realistically take today? Even if it's just a few minutes of research. To explore its potential as a side hustle. Think about a platform that seems like a good fit for that skill. What would be one specific service you could offer on that platform
Yeah.
to get the ball rolling?
I love that.
What's that first tiny step
Uh-huh.
you can take right now?
That's a great question to think about.
It is.
Yeah.
I think that's all we've got time for today.
Great deep dive.
So until next time, happy hustling.
Happy hustling, everyone. Bye.